Welcome to the Growing Your Business podcast. This is the show that dives into the big question, what's in it for me, for both the business and its customers? On each episode, we sit down with a business owner or leader to uncover their why, their values, and the stories that drive them to grow their business. Welcome to the Growing Your Business podcast. I'm Buddy Broyles, and today I'm joined on the show by my friend Patrick Nelson of Matrix Software Solutions. How are you today, Patrick?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks for joining me today. So I want to know, what is Matrix Software Solutions? Tell us all about it.
So we're a company that focuses on helping businesses optimize their company by creating platforms that integrate their workflows that go across CRM, communications, billing, payments, and very niche, complex operational workflows that make companies unique. We've been building software platforms for over 20 years. And what we found is that most businesses that are looking at platforms have a choice between going between off-the-shelf SaaS platforms that may not meet their needs, building something custom, which is time-consuming, is expensive. We meet companies in the middle. So we have pre-built solutions, pre-configured platforms that allow people to get that custom experience that fits their business without the custom build cost.
Excellent. So you cover a lot of bases here. So walk me through kind of the whole offering. You're not just this, you're not just that.
Yeah.
You offer a plethora, is the word that pops in my head, of services.
Yeah, so we're kind of a hybrid between a software as a service company. We have a platform called My Business Workspace that we offer that is out of the box, that allows you to run your billing, your payments, your CRM, your communications, your lead flows, all of those things purely out of the box. And we built it to be user intuitive, very simple to use, on-off features. And so you get the stuff that you need to use to run your business and not the features that you don't want to use. But on top of that, we're still a software company. And so when we engage with companies that are looking for something that's unique to their business, a unique workflow or your unique operating model that they can't fit into a kind of out-of-the-box software, we take our base platform and we turn that into a custom solution so that we allow people to essentially have that kind of custom product that's their business that works for them without having to pay that custom platform cost.
So we all like a story, Patrick. So give me an example of a company that approached you, needed one or all of the services you offer, and how'd you get them through the process and where are they now?
Yeah, so we recently engaged with a company that does online sales for paint protection film. One of the industries that we're actually involved in is in automotive glass and paint protection film. We have an entire solution dedicated to that vertical. And he was needed a way to be able to sell his own custom built paint protection film that he manufactures to his client base. And so he was faced with an option of buying a very expensive distribution platform. And he was also looking at companies to build a solution that allowed him to offer his products to his client base. Well, one of the modules within our solution is a point of sale solution that allows you to create all of your products, track your inventory, be able to have a customer portal where people can log into them. And a unique workflow for him was he wanted to be able to offer automatic volume discounts so that based on the volume of material that people buy, he wanted a system to automatically give them discounts. And so we were able to take a solution that already had point of sale, already had a customer portal, and be able to create an automation that says, take the average of the last 3 months of volume for each one of these customers and automatically give them a pricing tier that gives them that discount. So his biggest pain point was customers were calling every time that someone had to call and order an order, he had to look at the inventory or the history manually and figure out what is the discount based on this volume. It was a unique proposition with his business, but it required a ton of overhead and manual calculations and errors and communications to figure out what volume tier or discount these customers needed to be applied on their orders. We've automated it. So now when people do an order, it automatically knows how much volume that customer has provided or purchased over the last 3 months and automatically calculates their pricing tier. So it takes that, right off the table. Another example I'll give you is a company that we're just starting to engage with. They do casino events at corporate parties for entertainment, right? So think if you're doing a corporate event and you need entertainment, they come in and they set up like poker tables and roulette tables and all this other type of stuff.
Sure.
But his biggest thing was being able to staff those events. So he has people all over the Dallas-Fort Worth area that work these events. And he's trying to reach out to them and say, can you work this event? Can you work this event? Can you work this event? Right. And so what we're able to do is create a solution. We already have events. We already have registrations. We already have those core workflows. We're creating a portal where they can go in and say, show me all the people that are within 10 miles of this event that are essentially available to work this event. Send them a text message, because they're all 1099 contractors that do this on the side for kind of fun. I mean, it's a really cool gig. I mean, you get paid to go deal blackjack at a corporate party. It's a pretty cool, unique offering, but the logistics of coordinating that is significant. And so the system we're designing is, hey, I create an event. I need 5 dealers. Send a text message to everybody within 10 miles of that particular area and say, hey, there's an event that you want to sign up for, and they can log in and sign up for the event and be staffed. That's his huge operational headache that is really constraining him from being able to set up more events, and we're going to automate that. And so the unique value proposition is take these base core functionalities and then automate unique workflows on top of it.
And so that really makes sense for hearing them where they are. What is your biggest pain point, or what, list your pain points,
yes,
and then solving them. And that's what being a software company allows you to do.
Correct. But where we're different from most software companies is you can still arrive at that same unique pain point, but most software companies start from scratch, right? Mm-hmm. So you still have to build the lead funnel and the customer outreach and the communications and all those core concepts. That takes time. And so we've built dozens of these platforms over the last 5 years. We've worked in the tinting industry and youth sports and martial arts and even a tax collection firm. And what we found is we were reinventing the wheel on these core functionalities. And so the My Business platform that we built, and by the way, that's again available out of the box that people can use if you follow these standard workflows. It already has a very robust billing. So billing, subscriptions, payments, that's already built. Your communications flow, your lead funnels, again, events, point of sale, like the foundations are already there. And so a custom software solution that would take tens of thousands to build, we can do it way cheaper, way faster, because we've already engineered the solution to be flexible and extendable to some of these unique use cases.
Stay with us. The Growing Your Business podcast will return right after this. Ready to amplify your brand's voice? At Blue Mike Studios, we transform your ideas into captivating podcasts and videos. Whether you're launching your own show or guest starring on ours, we've got you covered. From recording and editing to social media promotion. With state-of-the-art 4K video and crystal clear audio, your content will shine. We offer guest packages on our podcasts and offer segments from the show for you to share. Or let us help you build your own branded podcast with custom strategy, branding, and full production support. Visit BlueMikeStudios.com today and let your voice be heard. Please check our show notes for sponsorship links and additional details. Now, back to the Growing Your Business podcast with Buddy Broyles.
List a few of the businesses, because we all like to hear ourselves, right? If entrepreneurs are out there listening, list a few of the types of businesses that you can help the most, and like the quickest, I guess you could say, other than the examples you already gave.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of different businesses that we can do out of the box. So again, if you're a point of sale retailer, right? So if you need to be able to stand up a point of sale system to be able to distribute your products and services, we have the module where it's the checkout counter, but we also have the ability for be able to send out links to your customers where they can purchase from you online, and it all goes into, a workflow. We also have, a pretty robust field services module. So being able to do, be able to set up jobs, appointments, quotes, a unique workflow in that space. I'll give you another example of a unique workflow is we're working with a roofing company where they had a unique proposition where they wanted to be able to put up their jobs so that their subcontractors could bid on them. So they have a subcontractor, right? And so no other platform out there does this, but they wanted to create a job, assign it to 5 different subcontractors, let the subcontractor bid on it, pick the winner, award them that job, and then send the quote to the customer with the small amount of markup. Like there's no other platform that does that. And so that's an example of a solution where someone's coming to us and go, that's pretty innovative. That's not unique to them. We're building that in a feature for the next company to come along. And so these innovations that were coming from these different companies were able to basically compound the capabilities of the solution over time, because every company that we work with, those features are being built in with kind of on-off feature switches. So the solution is just getting more and more robust over time. So again, we built the system to be flexible for a variety of companies to get out of the box, but we can really customize those kind of core workflows when you have a unique, business proposition.
Circling back to what you mentioned earlier, kind of the casino night company.
Yeah.
The gig economy is a thing. I mean, people are,
Yes.
looking for different types of jobs and whatnot. So allowing a potential employer to build their front end, as in they're acquiring the projects. Let's say
Yes.
like a roofer or something like that. This is the kind of
Yes.
it's not quite the best example, but the situation being, when you need to staff up quickly, your software allows them to staff up, as in they can build a complete database of people to come on board when they have, expand in certain areas, even in an emergency situation. We need 10 people right now. That's
Yeah.
pretty clever.
And both of those examples are kind of gig economies, right? So you have subcontractors that are looking for work. And then you also, in the roofing example, and then you've got the casino dealers for those types of things. And so, again, the beauty of what we're doing is that once we solve that problem for that one company, that kind of gig event ecosystem, it's available for the next company that we onboard. And so most software companies, once you finish a platform and a product, like that's their code, that's their project, you have to start over for the next guys. Our approach allows us to basically compound those capabilities over time, become a pretty powerful system.
And within your system, once, say, someone's subscribed and they're using your system, you have training built in, so they can continually educate themselves and their team. Talk to me about your training programs within your full offering.
So two things, we have onboarding and tutorial videos that come out of the box. When you do it, it walks you through all the core modules of how to set up your events, how to set up your customers, how to do your lead flows. Like those tutorials are in there, available for to watch. But we do we are not a sign up and figure it out on your own type of service. So the way we work with companies is we sit down, we have an exploration call. We understand what's your core pain point? What is your biggest problem that we can help you solve? If you can use this stuff out of the box, great. But we'll still sit up and configure the solution for that particular company, because we have a lot of features, we have a lot of on-off switches. And so rather than people having to kind of figure out what works for them, we're able to take the platform and configure it based on what we learned in that exploration call. And then also say, hey, if there is a unique feature that we need to build, here's what it would look like. But our philosophy is that if it extends the platform, we typically don't charge for that, custom feature. So it's a very white glove onboarding process where we make sure that people are comfortable with the system, understand the system, and then we're always available for support. So ongoing support is included.
This didn't happen overnight. So,
No.
Where did you start with this process and want to help other businesses? Kind of tell me the history of you and the business.
Yeah, so the story goes back. So I worked in a corporate environment for almost 17 years, building very complex operational software for people out in the field, corporate workflows, and so forth. And so enterprise systems that actually spanned across the globe to multiple continents, very complex systems. And then I decided that I wanted to move out of the corporate space and move into working with small to mid-sized companies. And so I started Matrix Software on the side to take those learnings and be able to help businesses. That obviously snowballed quickly. And before I knew it, I was working with a national franchise of martial arts studios, a baseball league. I got into the tinting space to be able to create a solution there. And so I grew through just referrals in kind of a network. And I found myself getting pulled into, again, companies that had these operational problems. Like I said, everything from tax collections, PEO, health services, tinting, et cetera. But what I found after doing that about 4 years is kind of what I articulated earlier, is that I'm reinventing the wheel on the core stuff. And these are long engagements, inspective engagements, kind of a little bit stressful on both sides because of the budget and the time and the commitment that's involved. And where I had an innovation in one platform, it wasn't translated to the other platforms. And so there was taking time to hey, that was a cool feature we built over here. Let's move it over here. Well, that's still more development time. And so about a year ago, I realized there's got to be a better way to do this. And that's where I looked across about 8 different platforms where we built and say, okay, what's the best example of CRM that we did? How did we do events over here? How do we do membership management over here? And I said, well, let's bring this together into a platform where these are all feature flags. You just turn on and off the features that you want, and it's designed to be flexible. So I don't have to keep reinventing the wheel. And then the innovations that happen from one customer actually translate to other customers. And so it increases obviously the value of the product, speed of delivery, cost of delivery, and support. Because instead of having people support all these independent platforms, now I can build a support team around one platform. And so the mission has always been to be able to create these integrated solutions that help businesses work better and more efficiently. But now I've kind of improved my own process where I can deliver that same experience through this platform as a service approach versus the traditional custom software development approach.
What do you enjoy most about what you do, Patrick?
Solving problems.
Solving
At
problems.
the end of the day, ultimately, if you come to me with like, here's a problem, my head goes straight into engineering mode and how do we solve that problem with the toolbox and so of things that we've built. And so working with companies that have again complex problems, operational needs, that's the space I've lived in for almost 20 years. But I feel at this point I'm more capable than ever of solving those problems because again with the platform approach. But that's what I love is those engagement calls of, hey, you got a problem, I want to help solve that problem. I get a lot of satisfaction out of that.
Well, not only that, is anybody that brings a complex problem to you, someone else is having. So
Yes.
It's basically solve it forward, if you will, if that's a thing.
Yes. And that's the difference. That's the shift that's happened with this kind of moving to the platform as a service, because there's nothing more exciting than someone comes with a complex problem and I kind of smile and go, you know what? I just solved that problem with this other customer and you get the benefit. We don't have to reinvent the wheel on that.
Let's talk about the best way to reach you.
So a couple things. We do have obviously the Matrix Software Solutions site that you can go out there that talks about our general approach. It talks about everything we've talked about on this call, our story, and kind of how we use our platform as a base for creating these solutions. And then we also have the My Business Workspace site. Those sites are connected together. Either one will get to us. And then it just has a simple questionnaire that says, tell us a little bit about your problem. And then it will go to a meeting booking where you can book a meeting with us. And by the way, that is an example of what we would set up for customers. So being able to put those engagement forms and contact forms on people's websites where it's not just a contact form that sends an email, but it goes into a lead flow and a questionnaire and a calendar booking and all those types of things. So if you contact us, you'll see kind of example of what we can do for you as well.
And final thoughts, what would you say to people who are struggling with, finding a partner that can help them, especially the automation is a thing, AI is a thing,
Yes.
leveraging these tools, they're tools,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I mean, so we take the partner approach, right? So we aren't come in, sign up for a product and use it on your own. We emphasize in that engagement, being a partner. Again, over time, the hope is that we basically can deliver a solution in a day or so as far as configuring things that we've already built. But again, we take that initiative to make sure that the system, when we're done, whatever it looks like, whether you're using the features we've already built or we have to tweak or customize something, that it's a solution that really works for your business and not your business, working within a platform that it wasn't designed for. And so we really kind of focus on building that partnership and the engagement and ongoing feedback. The other benefit of what we're doing is that we are hungry for feedback that people on the platform, because everybody's feedback makes it better, not only for them, but everybody else as well. So we're definitely a feedback focused company. All of our tools have integrated feedback tools built in where you can submit feedback anytime and it goes right to our kind of core team. So partnership and feedback is very important to us.
Well, and the partnership and feedback builds a community, right?
Yeah.
It helps, basically, again, you're helping people by raising difficult questions and presenting them to you.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent.
And then hopefully we kind of build these sub communities. We find these things around the gig economy or other problem points. Then the hope is that we actually kind of start building these sub communities that says, hey, we can take that solution that we've developed and then kind of expand into that. So I'll leave it with one last example. So we were approached by a company that is called Long Range. So it's a long range target. They have a system called Target Tag. It's in the shooting range industry. Like when you go out and shoot clays at shoves at shooting clubs. So they had a problem where they sell the software that actually does you go and you buy 100 clays and it puts it on a little RFID tag and you go out to the field and be able to shoot those clays. Well, it didn't integrate with any of their point of sale systems. So the problem was that people were doing these sales. They had ad hoc POSs. They didn't actually connect together very well. And so, let's solve that problem. Another example, we've got a point of sale system. Let's integrate it. So we did an integration within those systems. But here's the cool thing about the community. So we've already deployed it in about 6 different locations, and there's hundreds of these. Well, what we're finding is within this community, the way they do the events, the way they do even the way they score these events, there's this community building around this little industry around shooting ranges where we're able to take that feedback and really deliver a niche product for not just one company, but an entire sub industry or a little niche there. And every one of those clubs that we onboard is, again, expanding the capabilities, not for the general platform, but basically the shooting range instance of it. So it's actually its own instance. It's called Long Range POS. It's still our platform, but it's targeted for an entire kind of industry. And so those are the kind of things that are really exciting when you find a niche and it's really, it can expand.
And that certainly adds value to the customer because now, if the business is our community, the customer is able to reach a larger community. Let's say if they travel to a different location, there's something they're used to. Yeah,
exactly.
That's fantastic. Yes. Well, Patrick, thanks for coming on the show today and just sharing what you do, how you benefit your customers, and your story. It's been a great time talking.
Appreciate the time, for sure.
Thank you for joining us today on the Growing Your Business podcast. Please see the show notes for links to our sponsors, our social media, and to learn more about today's guest.